Today you're going to hear from Omar, who's one of my students and also started off as my editor. And he implemented the A-list model and applied it to himself and used it to get onto film sets. So I think it's very useful for you to see somebody that used these methods and is now a paid professional working for Netflix, working for MTV, and all the big stuff in Los Angeles. You can do these methods anywhere in the world, and you can do this starting from absolute scratch, knowing nothing. Enjoy.
I met Janet about 5 years ago, and I've been working in film for about 3 years now. I've done the Friends in Film program. I work on sets. Like last week, I worked on a YouTube thing and a TV show. I made $500 a day for 4 days total last week, and it was great. It was cool. We're making some comedy. We're doing that movie magic, you know? And this is my life now, thanks to Janet and Friends in Film. And I was working as a sound mixer, but whatever craft that you want to get into, we show you how to make that happen, whether it's acting, writing, directing, camera, all of it, whatever you want to do. The reason why this works is because we show you the overarching business principles of film, how to get hired for work, how to get paid for the job that you want to do. Um, yeah, I've worked a lot of jobs that weren't satisfying to me. You know, I did 9 to 5 IT before. I've done retail, folding clothes all day. I was delivering for Amazon. I was an Amazon delivery boy. I've done a lot of things, and it wasn't until I met Janet and she showed me basically that film was an option for a career. That was when I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is a perfect fit for my personality. I'm sure you guys feel it too as creative individuals. We're built a little differently and we can't have like a regular job. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. So anyways, the way this call is going to go, I'm going to ask you some questions and kind of get a feel for where you're at in your career.
Hey,
Awesome.
how you
Cool.
doing, Omar?
Hey, good to see you. Good to talk to you.
You too, you
Um,
too.
yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm just gonna take some notes here while we chat. But what do you want to do in film? What are your goals?
My path has been kind of interesting. So right now I'm kind of setting concrete goals because I started out and I thought it was cool that you said a sound mixer at first because I started my artist path as wanting to just be a music producer.
Mhm.
I have a lot of friends that are like stars basically. They're so good. So I only intended to produce, but then a couple of the friends that I thought would were stars passed away. Like some
Oh,
of them
dang.
passed away too young. So I made one album of music just to honor them. And in creating that, I ended up collaborating with lots of people for the music videos and stuff like that. And then I ended up doing stunts for a short film. So then I kind of stumbled into it, and I'm starting to see like just like you said, this is more my path because I'm like a tradesperson. I do warehousing. I do all kinds of like skilled kind of work, but it's not only is it not my passion, I also realize I have an affinity for these artistic pursuits. So
Mhm.
lots of them, I pick them up, and I never would have thought that I would get good at it so quickly. But because I have great mentorship around me and artists collaborate so much better with sharing each other's knowledge and tips and stuff, I just feel like it's almost. I had somebody say to me once you've developed enough of a skill set, you must show it to the world.
Mm.
And then with my friends having passed away, I'm like, I must show it now. So
Wow.
mhm.
Yeah, that's an incredible story. Um, what type of music do you produce?
I've I've produced just about every genre, but primarily hip hop.
Sweet, dude. I make music too. That's
Nice.
awesome. And one of the reasons why I got into film is because I basically wanted a lot of free time in order to make music. You
Nice.
know,
That's
like
awesome.
yeah. Um and so there's a lot of options. Um Something that I've explored that may be a good fit for you is becoming like a composer or something for post
Mhm.
or being like a music supervisor. So those are some cool options. And then so like what I do is I do location sound mixing. So I record a lot of the dialogue that happens on set. So we're miking up the actors. and basically, getting good clean dialogue of what's happening.
Yeah.
Mhm. And so what has been your experience so far in making film a career? Like what are some
Well,
s- yeah.
a friend of mine created a production company called Red Reach Productions,
Yeah.
and so far he's got two short films under his belt. But it is all indie, right? So my intention is kind of at this moment, and I have been following some of the advice from the emails lists, is in a way just to increase value for myself and then for him because I've been on lots of his projects and I'm in the credits, so we're very much connected now. So he's talking to directors, and we're both going on different sets and trying to make connections and stuff.
Hmm.
But ultimately, I'm trying to at this moment just increase what Red Reach Productions can do. Um, but that being said, it doesn't mean that I'm only under that umbrella. Even he owns the company, and we're both working with other people. And
Hmm.
so, I guess to answer it for me right now, I mostly want to get into production. So the suggestion you made was perfect. Like we've done a bit of sound design, and I'm excited to actually ask you questions later on in life or whatever
Hmm.
about that because
Yeah.
the first project we did, we didn't do any sound. It was like a long music video,
Hmm.
and the one we're about to release now, we did sound, and we'd never done sound before. So there's a lot of challenges. Like it took a lot of time to clean it up because
Hmm.
of not being sure exactly where the mic should be pointed because all three of us are studio guys. So
Hmm.
being on site was like there's a lot of challenges. The final product will sound really good, but it shouldn't need that much fix up work. It should just be a good capture, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, that's true. Very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, dude. So you're making actions, you're actually making projects. Um, so what is that? But I mean, but your end goal is to not only do these passion projects with your friend, but also to work on like bigger budget stuff, right? With like,
Mhm.
so where do you know where what types of things you want to be working on, like TV, film, commercials? Like, have you thought about that?
Um, a bit because I'm I'm really big on getting out of my comfort zone. So I
Mhm.
remember when I started this journey, I thought I'd never want to do a commercial, but
Mm.
now I've made some songs for commercials and I love it.
Oh,
And
cool.
I see their artistry in some commercials, and then um, I would like to work on bigger productions with the end goal of making Red Reach Productions into a big studio one day. But
Got it.
like you say, though, for the moment, the more specific goal would be working in film full time. So
Hmm.
whether it's sound design or even grip or anything like that, oddly enough, I love all of it. Like there's
Yeah.
one job that I was on, and when I didn't have a responsibility, I was grabbing everybody coffee, and they're like, "You don't have to do that." I'm like, "Why not?
Mhm.
I'm not on screen right now."
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the perfect attitude to have. That's we call that get it factor, where
Yeah.
somebody gets it and basically you're able to anticipate needs and take action. And when you
Okay.
do that, it shows people that you're one of the good ones, that you care about the production running smoothly and you're willing to help out and be a team player. So that's super cool. You already have a lot of the good qualities. And now the next thing, like the way you will use this program, is basically getting onto the bigger budget sets. And this will do many things. Um, One is it will make you more valuable because you're actually going to be around professionals that have been doing it for so many years. You're able to
Mhm.
make them your mentors. And not only that, but also just learn from observing. Um, the other thing this will do is you're going to make connections with these people and that will elevate your own projects for if like in the future if you want to build up that production company, then now you have a wider network of professionals that you're are basically your friends in film, your resources that you can call and ask for advice or have work on your projects. One of the pieces of advice that Janet gives us is if we want to start a production company, we need to have people that are actually going to pay us to make the thing.
Mhm.
Um, so that's another thing to keep in mind is actually making those connections that will have a big budget so that you can make the thing. Um,
Mhm.
and that's very possible. We show you how to do that in the program. Um, So, what do you think are some of the sticking points or things that may are holding you back from making this a full-time career, working full-time in film?
Just I think just finances, just because I've always tried to do it as like on the side. And then for a couple of the projects, the bigger ones I've gotten into recently, I needed to take some time off of work so that we could make them work.
Mm,
But those ones ended up paying out eventually. So it's like I didn't miss a day of work financially. But
hmm
if I would be able to just get on any set, even the one you gave as an example, $500 for a day for 4 days or whatever,
hmm
that could actually probably replace my income as long as I knew how to do it over and over again, consistently like the program teaches.
Right, dude. Yeah. And that's the thing, that's exactly what we show you how to do. Um, and I'm still growing as well. My goal is to make 1,000 plus per day. So I'm really grateful. This was a good job that I had last week. Um, and one of the other principles that Janet teaches me is like it's important, it's important to be making money. That's part of how we have a successful career. The other thing is building the relationships and the connections. I'm sure you've heard it's all connections. So
Mhm.
the connections and the relationships are the things that will be paying dividends over the course of years.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll give you a personal example. Um, kind of showing you like what you can expect doing the program. Starting out, you're gonna have to get on the lower budget jobs. So I
Mhm.
worked a short film about a year ago. I made like 150 a day for like 3 or 4 days. Um, Now fast forward to last week, the director that I worked with wants to hire me again, and now he has a much bigger budget. So that 150 a day job now is turning into a $900 a day job.
Oh,
Um,
right.
you know what I mean? And so that's basically like the evolution that you can expect. I mean, we're gonna have different we're gonna have a different path. Our journey is not
Mhm.
gonna be quite the same, but the principles are the same. Like you build up your value and then you get on the bigger budget things. Um Anyways, yeah, I think this is a good fit for what your goals are if you do
Mhm.
want to start doing this full time and not just something on the side.
Mhm.
So the another um bit of clarity, this program is a 10-month program. So
Mhm.
this will be your focus for 10 months, you know? And by that I mean you spend like an hour a day watching the online videos and taking action. And then over the course of those 10 months, you will be getting onto the professional sets. So yeah, does that sound like it's aligned with what you're looking for? Um,
Absolutely.
okay.
That's like university while still working.
I've been in the moving industry in Africa
Mhm,
for like let me say two like 25 years now.
mhm,
And I started with, post-production, particularly during the days of VHS. So that was around 1993 thereabout. So I developed that to the extent that I'm able to use Adobe Premiere Pro. I started with 6.5. So to the present version. So I've gone through the process of pre to post production and during this period of time. And I think I produced my first ever movie 2008 in Nigeria, and I've done a lot of couple of works in terms of shooting musical videos, training people at the best of my knowledge, and all those my trainees, they are productive. You understand? So when I saw your package online, I said, okay, fine. I want to mix with filmmakers community to see the way things are done differently from you know Africa, and
mhm,
and by that then I can incorporate that into my next project, and to
mhm,
see a productive result and, in a standardized manner that, the entire world can accept that work. That's the reason why, I had to join, this thing.
Okay, so you're already established in Africa, and you're
Yeah,
basically looking for international connections.
of
Mhm.
course, yeah.
So what but you said your main thing is post-production and producing? Is that like your department?
Yeah, yeah. I produce,
Uh-huh.
I do editing, which is post-production.
Hmm.
Then I I've been doing directing for a very long time now. So I want to settle in directing now.
Hmm.
You understand? Properly directing. And I still have some, acumen about cinematography. I teach people how to use cameras and lighting as well. So I think I still have a very good knowledge about that. You
Hmm.
understand? So I want to settle on directing because what makes me, what makes me so attached to this work from my very tender age, that was around 1985,
Hmm.
was the job that James Cameron did. That was Terminator 1. And, it really make me feel that, movie can be interpreted in a divisive way. It's a work of art. It's a work of art. And I put it in this way that, even God that created us is all about art. You understand that? We can maneuver stories in a dynamic way that people, we can sell our craft in a dynamic way and people will accept it. So all the project I've been carrying, all my personal project is highly crafty, that I need people that they are creative minded. You understand that I can discuss with that this is the angle I want this thing to go, and this is what I want to achieve. You understand? So
Hmm.
I need, a kind of a tech brain because I do my personally the two people that I respect in in the Hollywood is James Cameron and Mel Gibson. Those
Hmm.
are my my people that I really I'm looking up to. That one day we will sit and wine together. You understand? So
Yeah, of course. That's amazing. That's good. So you just for clarity, you do work full time in film already. That's your main job is being a post editor.
yes, yes, but here in UK, I what brought me here is I do ads. I'm a carer here in UK. You understand? I do care job here,
Hmm.
but at home, people work for me in Nigeria, but here, you understand, I still do my shooting, do my shooting, do my editing, if any brings big job. But I have a project that I want to go and shoot in Nigeria, maybe
Hmm.
in a couple of months. You
Hmm.
understand? So, and it's, um, and my plan is, using like red to shoot or Osa Mini. You
Hmm.
understand Osa Mini 4.6K because
Hmm.
of the dynamic range and all that. So to get a proper picture for whether Netflix or for like that. So that's my
Yeah.
then the one that I want you people to really to be partake of.
Hmm.
I need stunts. I need a lot of things. When I give you the storyboard and the story, you'll be able to understand the perspective and really want to work to. And I believe after I think we work together, we'll get the world class standard at the end of the
Hmm.
product. That's it.
Hmm. Where in the UK are you based? Like what city?
I work in Portmore and my family is in Kent.
Portmont?
Yeah, but my family presently I'm talking to you in Kent.
You're in Cairns.
Yeah, yeah, in Kent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you want to have these top tier people, like
Okay.
James Cameron's team, they're his team of of grips and electrics and gaffers and stuff. If you want to have that team, which is very possible, you have to
Okay.
start working on sets. You have to start working on those sets to build those types of relationships.
A relationship.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Building
and
relationship. Yeah. Building.
and
Yeah.
and the way to do that is basically to get connected with them and to spend time. I mean, the way that we teach, that Friends and Film teaches, is we show you how to get on those bigger budget sets with
Okay.
maybe like the teams that will be shooting in the UK. Then you basically get connected in that market. um
Okay.
I'm not sure if this program is the right fit for what your goals are, because we show you, we're more geared towards people that are not in film, and we show you how to build the foundation to build a career. But you
Okay.
already have a career already established.
Well,
So I'm not sure if this program is a good fit. The This could be a good fit for you if you want to expand your network in the UK.
of
And
course, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
mind that. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no knowledge lost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I want you to know. No knowledge lost.
Mm-hmm.
As we're talking, I can pick a little tiny something that I can use, that can
Right.
explode. So no
Mm-hmm.
knowledge lost. So meeting you and telling me that maybe the program is not really designed for me, I don't believe in such in my life. And those are the progress that makes me grow to this extent. I pick up things,
Mm-hmm.
I pick good things in little that you offer me. That is
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, something to look into is, so we offer two tiers of the program.
Okay. Okay.
So the one that I would suggest for you is the platinum tier, because when you
What
when
do you
you
call that? What do you
platinum,
call that?
platinum,
Platinum. Okay.
platinum, yeah.
Platinum.
And so that's the higher tier of our program. And
Okay.
when you do that, you get all of the lessons at once instead of
Okay.
little by little, because
Okay.
you're already established in the
Of
industry. So
course.
that way
Okay.
you could kind of advance yourself faster.
Okay.
And basically, like what you're saying, like you can take what you need in order to achieve your specific goals instead of building it from the bottom up. So
Of course. Of
so
course. Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I was, and then the other thing that gives you is you have more of a direct access to Janet,
Yeah.
the main person, Janet Urban. And so you're able to email her with specific situations and talk to her and get
Okay.
her guidance.
Genera.
Yeah,
Janet, right?
Janet. Yeah,
Okay.
Janet Urban.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, then she's the one that designed this. She's the founder of this program. So
Okay.
that's what I would suggest for you. Which I love your goals. That's really cool that you
Thank
want to
you.
and expand and become international. The
Yeah.
other thing that this program does provide that is more what you're looking for is we have an online community of everybody that does this program in the world. So we have people here where I'm at in Los Angeles and in America, New York,
Okay.
and we also have
Okay.
people in Canada, Vancouver, Toronto, and
Mm.
we have people in the UK, in Norway, in London. So when you join, you become part of the online community, and you're able to message each other and plan meetups, we refer each other work. And so that's another valuable thing that maybe more, I feel like that is more aligned with what you're looking for, but that's only
Of
one part.
course. Of
That's only one
course.
part of
Of
our
course.
program.
My name's Matt.
Matt,
Matthew, either one.
got it.
Nice to meet you all here, and thanks for hosting this. I kind of
Yeah.
just discovered this by chance. Quite frankly, I've had an interest in film a long time,
Mhm.
and there's like different genres or like kinds of the art that I really get attracted to. Sometimes it's the technical, sometimes it's the cinematography. Um, I really liked this Spanish filmmaker who did Birdman
Mhm.
because he won an Oscar for his kind of single this like single what appeared to be a single shot. It was really kind of a cool innovation. So I really get more excited about kind of the world building and trying to come up with original fresh ideas.
Mhm.
That's what gets me excited. It's probably more at the writing stage of things. And then, I mean, man, I would love to be a director, but that feels so far, unless it was like guerrilla, style where it's, guys, there's a whole nother kind of
Mhm.
genre. The English guys, what's his name? Gosh, he was notorious for, I think it was, there's Soderbergh, and then there's a couple other indie guys that I really like
Mhm.
that they just kind of like went out and shot their film, and they got it done, and then they ran it through the festivals,
Mhm.
and the circuits to get it sold. I think the area that I'm currently interested in is to understand, film financing and storytelling. There's just
Yeah.
so many different things about film right now that are amazing. And I've been in this really like I honestly I I thought I knew where I was going
Mhm.
at the kind of pinnacle of what I thought film could be.
Mhm.
Um like kind of uh with what really excited me was kind of what I thought was really cutting edge. And now I've, been so uh just removed from anything film and kind of in fear about the constant, everything being filmed all at once, all the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like and some personal things. I got to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of personal things that have really kind of thrown me off the cliff in my life that makes it hard to kind of get back. I don't know if you guys experienced that in the film business or in the creative space. Just a real, you know, a real it's it's a mental it's a mental thing, for me. There's a
Mhm.
lot of mental blocks that are keeping me from moving forward in a lot of my ways. So
Mhm.
sorry, I don't want to come across as like, therapy session, but
Mhm.
part of
No,
what
dude.
drew me
Yeah.
to this was it said friends in film.
Mhm.
That's a nice title. And then
Mhm.
I watched the interesting thing of, how to monetize and get into a place where you feel somewhat secure and that you're kind of moving in a direction that's going to help you, I think come up with expressing yourself, and being a part of a greater team that's expressing themselves. To complete a project and then move on to the next one, and hopefully, um, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks, Dylan. So, you know, I, uh,
Mhm.
I think if that answers your question, I don't really have, I'm just kind of all over the place right now.
Yeah.
For a while, I was like really gung ho about the technology side of this, of what can be done with Unity and volumetric capture and uh real time editing and the kind of overlays and all of that stuff was so fascinating to me, right? I was just like, wow, this is, and then I was thinking about that for documentaries and cultural respects to different places. And now I'm just, you know trying to figure out how I can help other people make films and maybe eventually be able to make a film that I really care about. So
Mhm.
I just don't really know how to do that in a way that's going to put, bread on the table for myself. So that's
Mhm.
what drew me to this program.
Awesome. Yeah. 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 You said a lot there, and there's a lot to dive into that I want to unpack. First of all, thanks for sharing. Thanks for being transparent. Um, we'll start with the mental things. So yeah, dude, it's normal. We're all humans. We're all experiencing life. We all have like the mountains and the valleys. Um, Actually, a big part of this program, we do a lot of mindset shifting, a lot of mindset training, which does a lot of things. The end goal of that is it makes us successful. I remember one time I asked Janet, our mentor, I asked her, like, Janet, what are the keys to success? Like, how do you make it happen? And she's like, Omar, the number one thing that you have to do to be successful is mental and emotional regulation. And I was like, what? I was not expecting that. I was expecting some kind of financial principle or something like that. But she is like, you have to regulate your mind and you have to regulate your emotions. And we actually have a lot of tools in the program to do that. So that's something that's right up your alley for what you're telling us. Um, and it's important, like I'll give you a personal example. On this job I was working on last week, making 500 a day on this TV show, some stuff went wrong. some some stuff went wrong, not as I planned. I thought I had the right signals going, everything was working fine in 1 minute, and then a couple minutes later everything went wrong. The stuff wasn't working anymore. But because of our training, because of what Janet has taught me, I was able to keep my cool, keep level headed during the chaos and solve the problem, which is very valuable. That's what people want to hire because things go wrong on set all the time. And the thing that sets us apart, the friends and film people apart, is that we are able to solve these problems with a cool, calm demeanor. And that's what people want to hire. On top of that, we help you get over whatever, like, I mean, I don't know exactly what your situation is, but we help show you how to network properly, like if there's any social anxieties or something. We show you how to network and how to basically, there's a reason why it's called friends in film, is because they're just our friends, like these high level like directors or people that are making thousands of dollars a day. um we make them our friends. We're just peers, we're all just on set together. So that's another little mindset shift that we get into. So I know that's kind of like a broad thing. Um, the other thing
Yeah,
that you,
thanks for that.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, of course, you got it. The other thing, um, that we get into is you want to be a writer and director. The way to make that happen is we have what's it called? A strategy. We call it 50-50-20, where you make 50 connections that hire you for work, 50 connections that refer you for work, and 20 connections that mentor you. So I'm going to focus on these 20 connections that mentor you. You want to learn a lot. You want to learn the directing, you want to learn the writing, you want to learn the financing and producing aspects of it. I'm sure you want to learn camera and the world building as well. So part of this program is we show you how to get onto film sets and how to get connected with the people that are doing what you want to do in a way with finesse, in a way that they start mentoring you and start teaching you on set. And the way we do that is, like the quality of questions we ask and being a team player. So for you, you're gonna get on set and become friends with other directors, and you're gonna learn what they learn, what they're gonna teach you. They're gonna show you like, oh hey, like if you want to direct your thing, do this, don't do this. This is how I pitched my script to get funding, and that's an overarching principle that you can do with whatever department you want to get into. So Dylan, you would do that with music and sound if that's what you want to get into. But for Matt, it would be like directing and writing. So you'll get connected with the directors and writers. That's how you'll use the program. I don't think you said it, but what do you do for work right now? Like Matt, what's your source of income?
I mean, honestly, right now, guys, I'm not working, so there's gonna be a barrier for me right now. I just was checking this out. I'm in a situation where I'm trying to organize a lot of chaos that's happened. So
Mm,
I've been looking at joining uh the military and kind of like getting some
mm,
tools there, even
mm,
though that's I'm a little bit older for that.
mm,
And some other local jobs, you just got to figure out a way to to get back into it. That was some of the hesitancy too, is like, anytime you're in the pursuit of art or the creation of something. I don't know if this is everyone else's experience in film, but if you don't have family that's already doing film, they kind of see it as like, well, that's a second, this is a
Right.
plan B, right?
Yeah.
But so many of the filmmakers, they say, well, the only reason why I was successful is because I determined that it was going to be plan A only for me.
Mhm.
Maybe I went a little too like unregulated emotionally, and that caused me to have basically an aneurysm or whatever go out of control.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
But it's like those are the people that I feel like I really admire in the creative space is they go all in, and somehow I'm sure it doesn't work for everyone, but
Mhm.
so right now I'm not working, and
Mhm.
I'm trying to find work and find some stability in my life. But like I said, I just hopped in here, so
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Got it. Um, One thing that so I got a couple things to say. The first month of the program, we show you how to start making money. The very first month. Um, we show you how to do that. We show you how to we call them brand ambassador jobs. They're called brand ambassador jobs, where it's freelance work. So you can basically make your own schedule. It's not film work at first. It's similar to film work. The tasks and things are basically the experience you need to start getting production assistant work on a film set. So that's the first month. We show you how to make money and build the necessary experience to make yourself valuable to the film industry. So wanted to give you that too. In your situation, if you're not working right now, yeah, go ahead and figure out something like, do some odd jobs or something, or cut the costs. If you actually want to make this a career, um, then figure out a way to make that first month's payment of this program, and then you'll start making money with the program. That's what we show you how to do, how to start making money. There's another thing I wanted to say. So you could, the other option that you gave us that you're kind of thinking about is joining the military, which that's very respectable, and you can totally do that. The thing is, if you do that, you're gonna be enlisted for another 3 or 4 years, and then start building your dreams afterwards. That's an option that you can do. Yeah, you're an adult, you can make your own decisions. This program is 10 months of focus. What you're talking about, that 10 months of focus, making this what you want to do, building the foundation for your career. You spend 10 months of your life so that 10 months from now you have the foundation, and you start making money in film and start getting into those positions that you want to do, the directing, writing, and essentially producing, which what we're talking about with the learning how to finance things. Um, so yeah, those are some things that I wanted to bring up. There was another thing that you mentioned. Oh yeah, the family supporting. Yeah, that's normal. Um, a lot of people don't understand this world. They don't understand what the film industry is. I didn't understand it either. Like no one in my family worked in film, and when I started, um my grandpa was like, "Oh, like Costco's hiring. The Costco's a good job." And I was like, do I look like do I look like I belong at Costco or whatever? Um so that's normal, and that's because they love you and your family wants you to be safe. They want you to have a safe job. When I had a safe job working 9 to 5 in IT, I was miserable, and it wasn't worth it. Um the thing is that you can make so much more money working in film than like a steady safe job. That's what happened to Janet, our mentor. I don't know if you know much of her story, but when she was 25, she was working as a copier sales person. She was selling copiers, and she didn't like it. And then she quit that job, traveled the world, decided she wanted to work in film, and now she like makes the most money in her family. So that's the little success story for you to kind of chew on, and to think about. This is our mentor. you know
Bro, thank you for sharing that. I love
hmm
I love hearing like people's overcoming stories.
hmm
Like I love hearing not just like people that make it and they're like already have the film and you're going and hearing all the intricacies, but just like the up and up, you know, like kind of the, I don't know if you, I guess it's the underdog story. So
Yeah, dude, absolutely. And that's, people thought she was crazy for leaving a safe job, leaving a corporate job and cashing in her retirement and actually following her dreams. That's like that's not the safe thing to do, but that's what we as creatives, that's kind of what we need to do and what will satisfy us. So anyways, that's our mentor. This is Janet, the person that built this program. And the other valuable thing about that is she made mistakes along the way. She did things right along the way. And now she's telling us like, hey, these are the pitfalls. Don't do it the way I did. This is way better. Do it this way. And it saves us that time. I don't know exactly like I don't know how I would be able to get to the position I'm at now where I'm making 500 a day without Janet's mentorship. Um so yeah, I wanted to tell you that too, that it's normal that our families don't support us, but that's just because they want to keep us safe. That's because they love us and they want us to yeah, to be in the safe job. And the funny thing for me is i I didn't know this was a career option until I met Janet. Basically, I thought I wanted to do music full time, and then when I saw that like the film work option is like it's a career option where you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time when you have the foundation set. I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to do. Of course, like I want to be a freelancer. I want to be able to do this. Um, and yeah, Dylan commented, mentorship is so valuable. It's so true, dude. We have this incredibly successful person showing us what works and what doesn't work.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I went to this Marvel. It was like a keynote speaker listening to them talk about the new wave of production technology, and it was one of the responses from one of the keynote people was like, I think it was based on my profile or something like basically good luck, And
Mm.
so there's obviously a lot of rejection you face in the business. Um, but I guess the question or the line of thinking that I'm wondering is like, how do you, and maybe this is what the program does, how do you like know whether that person's directing you the right way or not? Like, there was an instance when I was younger, much younger, in my early 20s when I moved out to LA. And I was going through the flow of connections of what people would tell me to do. And it led me into places I didn't want to be. Let's just say that. Or and part of that was in a period of my life where I was pretty broken down. And so I was just kind of wondering, like, in this program, how do you nurture or identify relationships that you care about deeply and you want to do work with,
Mm.
but you're not like a social climber. You're not just like, hey, that guy is the gatekeeper. I'm going to spend, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe that's a part of my own neurosis that I'm working on peeling away. But
Mm.
I would love to know that. A lot of times I just try to go after the good energy now.
Mhm.
But there's been instances where I've been misdirected, and that fear and pain can kind of create, it can really, I don't know, it's not resentment. It creates like a reaction in your system where if it happens enough times, you feel almost like abuse, right? Sorry, I mean, I hope you guys are hearing me out. Sorry, I
Yeah, yeah,
just
no, no, I'm taking notes. This is
it's
good.
kind of
This is
it's kind
good.
of like, okay, you listen to people that you think know everything, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna, like, they're telling me because of their relationship that I should do this, so I'm gonna do it, right? If I identify this is it, I'm gonna do it. Okay. And then there's like there's like a sometimes that whiplash that happens, where you're like, kind of like the movie, where it's like boom, you're like, whoa. So
Mm.
I don't know if you have any, but maybe that is all developed in the movie, or not in the movie, sorry, in the program.
Mhm.
But that was just something personally that I've gone through that I would like to know how to better
Yeah.
navigate.
So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. Thanks for bringing that up. So I got a couple bits of wisdom that may provide some clarity. One is observe the person giving you advice and look at their results, look at the fruits of their labor, and use your own discernment to see like, okay, this person, this is how I basically chose Janet as a mentor. This person is obviously very successful. Like she's making this much money working on a film set. She's been doing it over and over again for 20 years. That's a very good track record. She's cool to hang out with. I feel good like spending time with this person. I'm gonna do what she tells me to do because it obviously works, and she's being honest with me. So that's one thing, observe the person giving you advice, and kind of the way I look at it is if somebody gives you advice, that advice is gonna bring you into whatever situation they're in. Using a separate example, um, don't take financial advice from a broke person. That then whatever advice they give you will probably make you broke. Um, take if somebody is successful and they give you success advice, like regulate your mindset and your emotions, then that's what I'm going to do. If that's what she tells me that is the key to success, then that's what I'm going to do. So that's one thing. Observe your mentor and you can deduce that way. The other thing is not just like using people, like just seeing like, oh, okay, that person has what I want and I need to go talk to them and get connected with them. That's something that we do talk about in the program. We're just like, there's a reason why it's called Friends in Film. It's because the film industry is so casual. The way to get hired is one, just do the job well, and two, be cool to work with. Those are the two main things. If you're cool to work with and you're able to accomplish the job, then people are going to hire you back. So, you're on set, whatever, like, you're just chatting with people, just being cool to work with. And then people see that, like, oh, okay, Matt, he's doing all the right things. He's actually taking initiative and doing a good job. I want to hire him again. And he's cool to hang out with, because the film industry are typically 10 to 12-hour days on set. So you have to be cool to work with if you're going to be spending that much time with somebody in a day, you know? So that's what we talk about. What are your thoughts so far? I have some other things to dive into, but what are you thinking, Matt?
I was thinking where I'm at in life. I'm constantly telling myself, "Be cool, man. Be cool. Be cool." But it's a product of where I am in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was just it was kind of a comedy in the situation that I'm in, the way it was coming across. But I think that that's so true. I really like the first part of what you said, and I'm gonna that's a huge takeaway for me from this meeting. So thank you so much for sharing that. Like how does it make me feel? Is this person producing currently regularly outcome in their life that's evidence, the fruit you said, and then also like and how does that person make you feel when you're around them, and watching and observing how they feel too around you, and so yeah, that was super solid. I know that's probably pretty basic human stuff, but yeah. And then the other thing is like the long days. Like sometimes I think the way that my brain maybe is, and this could be just me, is like I think, okay, how can I think of the best solution and the fastest way to produce that solution? And that by doing that, I would impress, and that person would like to work with me because of that, right? You know, and that just, that's obviously very subjective, right? It's not necessary.
That's a good thing, that's one component out of many other things. I think that's a positive trait.
Yeah, yeah, there's many other things. And so I think it's like a balance that I just haven't had in my life that I'm trying to recalibrate on. And so that's coming, that thought came to my mind as you were talking about, you put in 12-hour days. Man, you just want to be around people that you like are feeding your soul, that
Oh
keep
yeah, for
keep
sure.
you inspired, and you know and that
Mhm.
you want to do more projects with. So
Yeah, dude, absolutely. And that's, and that's, that does two things. One is we show you, the program shows you how to contribute to that positive energy on the long days. And the other thing is you get into a position where you can pick and choose what jobs you want to work on. Like, yeah, and then what I'm getting at is I have a group of friends that I just love working with, and I want to work with them because they're just cool to kick it with, and they're cool to make art with. So when they ask me to jump on a job, I'm like, heck yeah, I want to like work with you again for sure. So you can pick and choose what you want to work with. If you have a negative experience with, which sometimes happens, you work with them once, you learn, and you're like, okay, cool. I don't really want to work with this person anymore. I don't really vibe with them. Just and that's okay. Um, there's another thing I wanted to dive into is there's a fear of failure that I'm noticing. And
oh yeah.
bro, like so this is like a weird, like counterintuitive thing. When I In my own experience, when I started embracing failure, that's when I started leveling up crazy, bro. That's when I started like leveling up so fast and started making so much more money, is embracing the failure. Like understanding like, okay, I'm gonna do something new that I've never done before. This is so uncomfortable. This is so painful. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I'm growing because of it. Me stepping into my me stepping into the discomfort is actually self-love and growth, and that's what's going to make me more valuable, because when you embrace failure, you make mistakes, you're not going to make that mistake anymore, and you're better because of it, and that's like that's where the growth happens. Dylan just put increase the rate of failures advice a mentor gave me once. Good for you, Omar. Thanks, dude. um, so that's something that I wanted to tell you, is kind of meditate and shift your relationship with failure, and maybe like, embrace it a little more. It's okay. That's how we learn as humans, is by doing things we've never done before, and get growing because of it. And I'll give you another personal example. Early on when I started sound mixing, it was probably like my fourth or fifth job. I think I made like 400 for that day. It was a corporate job. We were filming at a hospital, some doctor interviews. And I messed up, dude. I forgot some equipment. Um I didn't record the sound as clearly as I should have, and it was bad. At the end of the day, the the DP pulls me aside away from everybody else, and he's like, "Bro, like you got to take this seriously. Like if you actually want to make this a career, like you have to take this seriously. You have to research, you have to make a list of all the things you need, because you're making us look bad, and that's not good." So that conversation that he had with me, it was so painful. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like do I want to keep doing this?" Like it sucked so bad. But I understood he's telling me that because he cares about me. He's telling me that because he wants me to be better. So that's what I mean about embracing failure. When you are willing to hear that criticism or whatever it is, to when you're willing to make those mistakes and learn from them, that's what levels you up.
I was wondering, when you're working with people from various like countries, or different states or different politics or different nationalities or different, you name it, right? All of the things like,
Mhm.
um and if there's under pressure, right, or you feel this sense of time bound pressure, like, or performance anxiety, perfectionism, like how do you kind of diminish that, and maybe this is that regulation you'll teach in the class, but
That comes from experience and doing the reps, basically, which is we do show you how to do that, because if you want to get to that level where you're, working on like a giant feature with a multi-million-dollar budget, you have to have done the job so many times and gotten smooth so that you can execute at that level. And in order to do that, you have to like make the mistakes and so what we teach you is making the mistakes when it doesn't cost you anything, where it's okay to make mistakes. We show you how to get that type of work first so that you get smooth, and you develop this get it factor that we brought up a little earlier, where you get it, you understand the situation, and you're able to execute. And yeah, I mean, there is a pressure when because time is money, there is a pressure in order to keep to the schedule, to do your job well. The thing is, when you do the reps over and over again, it becomes second nature, and you can deliver smoothly with finesse. So that's where we end up. That's what I'm working on as well. I've been in the industry 3 years, and I'm still like doing the necessary reps so that I can make that $1,000 plus per day. Does that help? Does that give you some guidance? Yeah. And then we've already been talking about an hour, gentlemen. Thank you so much for sharing, everybody. Dylan, Nee, and Matt, I appreciate you sharing and asking your questions. So I want to wrap this up. So Matt, go ahead and save that link and sign up when you're ready and when you figure out your finances. Dylan, you can sign up now. I feel like you're ready. And then Nee, go ahead and email Janet to get more clarity on what your specific goals are and situations, and see if platinum is the right thing for you. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully I'll see you in the program. I hope you guys get rich and famous. And yeah, I'm sure our paths are crossed sometime in the future. Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks so much for listening. And if you want to take your career to the next level in the film industry, go to friendsinfilm.com/join. That's friendsinfilm.com/join. You can sign up for our mini course, learn about the A-list model, and then you can take it all the way and do the A-list program. So that's friendsinfilm.com/join. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day, everybody.